These 3 points are absolutely crucial if you're wanting to try and save your marriage. Make sure you watch these and apply these immediately to create the shifts that you're looking for right now. Firstly, before I explain these points, I just want to tell you that, my heart goes out to you for the circumstances that you're in. If your marriage is on the verge of a divorce, it's such a painful thing to experience for you ladies. And, I know that when you're going through it, you're going through a huge roller coaster of emotions, and that creates so much pain. And finding clarity is one of the hardest things that we can actually do, because at the end of the day, there's so much at stake. And after the last decade working with clients from all parts of the world, I've observed that there's a few patterns and a few behaviors that I see are common right across the board that cause so many problems and prevent people from being able to create the shifts that they're looking for, both within the marriage and within themselves. So I'm going to point these out now. The first point is to not succumb to the ego. Now, I always say that there are 2 parts to ourselves. There's our ego and our spirit. And the ego is the part of our brain that's effectively been conditioned over the years. We come into this world pure love, pure spirit. But over the years, we learn fear. We adapt to our environment to determine what is going to get us the love and the acceptance that we're looking for. Problem is, though, is that over and above that, we develop patterns that protect us, that prevent us from maybe reaching our full potential, that prevent us from being able to express ourselves in moments when we should, but we're afraid of getting rejected and so on. There's lots of different patterns and wirings that essentially we've created in our own mind that prevent us from being able to move forward. And this particularly applies in a situation where you're trying to save your marriage. Because what's going to happen is you're going to want to put the work in. But as soon as you come across any stumbling blocks, there's a good chance that your brain is going to go, oh, I need to protect you. I need to make sure that you're okay. So you know what? I'd suggest you just not do anything. Just give up. Just don't even bother. What's the point? I'm useless. And so on. We get all these different thoughts in our heads. And I've seen it so many times. And not just clients that I've worked with, just individuals that I might interact with from time to time who, want to work on their marriage or want to work on other areas of their lives. But there's that part of their brain, that survival-based part of their brain that's going, who are you kidding? You can't do this. You can't achieve this. You can't experience this. You can't save your marriage. He's gone. All of that sort of stuff. And what that does is it prevents us from taking not only the action to work on the marriage, but also the most important work, which is the work on ourselves. Life, I truly believe, is a reflection of our own internal selves. So if we're always having these emotions and beliefs of I'm not good enough, or worried about rejection or anxiety or fear or feelings of inadequacy, etc., then our life is going to reflect that. And a simple way to describe this is if you believe you're not good enough, well then you're probably not going to take the actions that you need to. If you want to live that life that you want to live, or you want to experience that career or whatever it is, you're not going to take the actions that you want to because you don't believe that you can achieve it. So you don't do it. So therefore you don't get the outcome that you're looking for. And then that reinforces the belief, well, what's the point? I'm not going to get the thing that I want anyway. And we cycle over and over and over. And it's a destructive process. And this particularly applies when trying to save your marriage, because like I say, if your husband is doing certain things and you're not quite getting the outcomes that you're looking for, but you're doing the right things, but you're not getting him to respond in the way that you want him to, it's easy to go, well, this ain't working. But this is a marathon, my friends. This is not a sprint. If you're trying to make a couple of changes and then you don't get the outcome that you're looking for within a week or 2 weeks, that doesn't mean it's not working. It just means that it's taken time to get to this point, and that you need more time to really focus on the work that you need to be doing. It's really, really important to remember. And that part of our brain, the ego, is going to go in there and just sabotage everything that you're doing, because it wants to make sure that you don't experience the rejection, the pain, and so on. But actually in these situations, you have to push through that. You have to bypass that and enter your spirit and come from love and come from empathy and come from compassion and come from faith. And whatever faith means to you, if that's a higher power, if that's God, if that's faith in yourself, got to make sure you apply that, because that's what's going to allow you to move forward in the best possible way. And regardless of whether the marriage is saved or not, which I know is an uncomfortable thought, but even if it doesn't work out, you're going to be in the best position to be able to move forward, to heal, to grow. But obviously we want to put all our energy into saving the marriage if it's the right thing and if you're with a good man who genuinely has the right foundations, the right values. And the second point is that there is a spiritual or personal development solution to every problem. So I'm a huge believer that when we are going through some of these difficult times, the actual experiences itself is actually reflecting back to us things that we need to work on within ourselves. If you're dealing with your husband and you're feeling like you're getting rejected all the time, well, that's explaining and expressing to you that you need to work on the emotions of rejection. How can you get to a place where you almost have that armory over the top, where even if he says certain things, it doesn't hit you at the level that it is currently at the moment in terms of emotionally? Or are you noticing that there are patterns with the way he behaves and the way you react, and in other areas of your life as well? Are you noticing some commonalities right across the board? Because if you understand that, you recognize that, then you can confront the actual root cause, the root problems. I honestly believe that people get caught up in too much of the surface level behaviors, what he said, what you say, how he interprets it, etc. And those things are important, but really, in my life, I mean, I've been working consistently on myself for over 20 years now. And I've always found that whenever I'm having challenges with people, the key for it was always to work on my own self. How did I interpret that situation? Is there a way in which I can, shift my own emotions so when I do communicate, that it comes across in the right way, that the right energy is there, that when that person says something, if it triggers me, that I don't get bogged down and then shift how I'm approaching things in my body language and everything, so then they react and think, oh no, here he goes again, or whatever. We've really got to go deep into our own self. Every interaction, whether it be with your partner or whoever, is an opportunity for growth. And I actually think it's really good to, if you're struggling with that person, sometimes step aside in terms of just, even if it's at nighttime or in the first thing in the morning, or if you've got some quiet time to yourself, just say to yourself, thank you for these challenges. Thank you for this opportunity to grow. Now, I know some of you might want to, jump across the screen and strangle me right now, because it's probably frustrating to hear that. But I'm not here to tell you what you want to hear. I'm here to tell you what you need to hear. I'm here to tell you the things that are actually going to create proper long-term shifts. Not things that are just going to put a band-aid over the top, because that ain't going to do anything for you. It's all about the long-term shifts, the profound, deep shifts, and they all start from within. I'm a true believer of that. And when we do that, it's amazing how other people start to change as well. Other people start to shift. And I can rattle off so many times in my life where I have made the shifts internally and suddenly that person has started to change. And I think it's a combination of not only the energy that I'm giving across, but I also think that as we heal from the inside, we actually promote change in other people as well. We almost inspire them at a deeper level. And so it's important to remember that there is a spiritual solution to every problem. There is a personal development solution to every problem. And when we take that approach, chances of us being able to move forward and heal are so much greater than if we are just looking purely at cause and effect and just the communication and the language that's being used, because if we only focus on that, then our progress is only going to be so limited. And finally, I guess as an extension to the first point, make sure you keep doing the work and don't give up. I see so many people who will maybe do a little bit of work for 1 or 2 weeks and just look for that dopamine fix, really look for those feel-good emotions or that feeling of like, wow, this is really working, and expecting an immediate result. But in an area like relationships, it doesn't just happen overnight. It takes time. I've got clients who've saved their marriage after a year, sometimes 18 months. Sometimes it can take time. And I know that's frustrating, but we've got to stay patient. And that's where the inner work really kicks in. We've got to really focus on what's preventing us from being patient. You know, are we afraid of being alone? Do we feel like we're so helpless in our lives that we need that person? You need your husband to bail you out of difficult situations, or to be that protector for you and that provider and all of that stuff? Do you feel like you're not capable of maybe earning money or working because you've maybe been a stay-at-home mum for a long time? I get it. Like, you know, those are really tough situations to be in, and my heart goes out to you. But I really believe, once again, that this is an opportunity to evolve and to grow and to actually move up the levels of consciousness, not stay at that level where you're like, okay, that person's going to be the one to do everything for me and take care of me all the time. Yes, we want to be taken care of. Yes, it's lovely to be provided for and protected and so on. But we need to know that we have the ability to be able to do that should we need to. And I think that is about self-actualization. That's what true growth is actually about. As I say, I mean, I've been working myself for over 20 years now, and there have been some tough times. There's been times where I'm just like, man, does it have to be this hard all the time? Does it always have to play out like this? When are things going to change? When are things going to turn? Getting into some really, really dark black holes. But one thing I never did was give up. You know, I never went, look, I'm throwing in the towel here, I can't do this. I had to keep moving forward. I kept healing. I kept working with people who were all going to give me the advice and the support that I needed in order to grow and to evolve. And I see this with my clients as well. The ones that put the work in consistently are the ones that get incredible results. The ones who don't, who sort of do it for a week or two and then just give up, you know, your progress is only so limited. And I think it's very, very important that if you're listening to this, really take this message on board. Don't ever, ever give up. Keep moving forward, keep growing, keep healing. And I promise you, the rewards will absolutely come. They 100% will. You've just got to keep moving forward and keep doing the very best that you possibly can. And at the end of the day, that's all you can do, is do the very best that you can. But I know that you're capable of it. I know it because I've seen it so much in the past as well. Not just with clients, but with myself. And I know that if I can do it, anyone can do it. So make sure you keep putting in the work. And if you are in a place where you are needing support, sometimes it is a really important thing to have people in your corner who can actually teach you the specific tools and the strategies and give you the guidance and so on that you need in order to be able to move forward and to progress. So if you are needing that support right now, then I'd love to be of service to you through my program, the Authentic Relationship System. It's an amazing program. You're going to get so much out of it, and it's a curriculum as well as individual support from me, where you can actually learn the specific steps you need to in order to save your marriage, but also to go about healing yourself and creating those massive shifts. Because I think that that's the most important thing that we can actually do, is work through our own healing. So if it feels right for you, if you connect with my videos and so on, then what I'd encourage you to do is, in the description section below, just click on that link that says book a call with me. Just click on that link, choose a time that works for you, and then I'll contact you at that scheduled time, just so I can learn a little bit more about you and just see where you're at, where you're wanting to get to, and how we can bridge that gap. I can't wait to be of service to you. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you've liked it, make sure you hit that like button below. If you want to get more videos like this, hit that subscribe button. And do let me know what your biggest takeaway is from this video. I always love reading the comments and the questions, and I'll make sure I respond to every single one of you. If you're in a situation where your husband feels like a roommate, and you're wanting to improve the situation with him, just click this video above. Thank you so much. God bless, and I'll talk to you in the next video.